Well, Shalom family. Here we are again. Um, I wrote something down this time. Hold on. I am on fire. Boy, I tell you, I need something to fan with. So I usually do a wrap up video of the first video I've done for the day. But today was different. It was more of just talking. But I do have something that I want to talk about. Um, I want to talk about how I found my purpose. And I'd like to find out, do you think you found yours yet? So let's talk about how I found my purpose. Okay. Um, what I'm about to say is something I've said in videos prior that I've done. So I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to get right to the point of where the Most High said I should start from. So let's just say I was married at the time and we were making terrible choices together. Um, and it gotten really bad. And it was causing us problems in our marriage. And so now I want a divorce. I don't want to be married anymore because what we're doing together, we're using drugs. Um, this is for educational purposes only, please. We're using drugs and I'm ready to stop. I don't want to do it anymore, but he does not. So I want a divorce and I want a divorce now. um we finally get a divorce, but the damage is done. Bad choices, not doing what I was supposed to do. So in the process of the divorce, I end up homeless and um I ended up having to go to a shelter. Living in that shelter was a nightmare, and I was angry about it. Now, I don't really have no reason to be angry unless I'm mad at myself because I did it myself. You know, every action gets a reaction, and what I chose to do got me where I was at. But I don't want to be there. I want out of there. And so I'm trying to figure out ways to get out. Um, And the only way that I can think of was going backwards to a way I used to live. So I'm gonna find some man to move in with so that I don't have to, live in a shelter. But then I felt like I don't want to do that either. I really don't. Because I'm trying to change. That's what I kept telling myself. I want to change. I want to do differently. And I've done all of that in the past. It didn't work. Look at where I'm at. Bad choices, bad decisions. So I kind of got out of that mindset. But, the enemy, he's always listening. So he heard what I was what my intentions were was to find some man to move in with. But now to talk myself out of it. So the Most High, he's trying to get me to focus in, deal with what you've gotten yourself into so that you can get out and do the right thing. But the enemy was like, let me bring one of her old boyfriends around and see what happens. And he does. He brings one of my old boyfriends around, and next thing I know, I'm moving back in with him. We used to live together before, but I had my own place, so I was practically living at his house, but I already had my own place. Um, so yeah, I'm excited because I don't have to be in this shelter, and I like him. We always got along. So this is gonna be cool. Like I wasn't expecting us to get our relationship back together, but I mean I wasn't opposed to it. Um, so I moved back in. Just move in with him, and he's still working where we used to work, where I met him at, and but I'm not working. I'm not doing anything. So I'm basically making sure his house is clean, making sure he's got food to eat, stuff like that. But it's different than before. The relationship is different. He's different. Um, and so one night he strikes up a conversation, and now I find out why things are different. He's getting high. I'm like, oh man, you see how the enemy works? Now, I've already made the decision that I'm not doing that anymore. And then I had already made the decision that I wasn't going to move in with some man. But I end up moving with a man and he's getting high. I'm like, great. So I'm like, well, he asked me if I would help him do something pertaining to getting high. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I feel like he got upset with me because I refused. And since I refused, he told me, um, kind of made it seem like it was okay, but I could tell he was pissed. And so now he starts staying out all night. Now, this is his house. So I'm like, well, that's weird. But I didn't care because at least I'm at peace. I'm not in a shelter. I'm comfortable. But it would be like, I don't see him for days on end. I would call to make sure he's cool. He would respond, but I just didn't see him. And so one evening he comes home and he's like, you need to move because I shouldn't have to leave my house to get high. You're right. You shouldn't. Now I don't know where I'm going because I just came from a shelter and I refuse to go back. So I told him I would make arrangements. So in the process of me making arrangements, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. One of my friends, she was like, girl, let's go hang out. And so we go hang out. And we met these guys I guess we went to a park or a festival. We went somewhere where it was a bunch of people hanging out doing stuff. So we ended up meeting these guys, and Michael was his name. He wasn't my type at all, but I liked what he was saying. Um, I had stuff in storage at the time, and I'm just like, I like what he's saying, and this could work. Even though he's not my type, at least he can get me out the shelter. I got a one track mind. I just want to be able to stay somewhere where I'm okay and safe. And since my ex wanted me out of his place, I had to move. So now here comes Michael. Another bad choice. He's like, I have storage. You can put your stuff in my storage, and we can get a place together. Okay, fine. You're not my type. I don't see me even being with you, but in my mind, if you've looked at any of my other videos, you'll know that back in the day, I used to work and I used to sell some things. So I'm like, okay, I'll just look at him as a client and be done with it. Okay, so I tell my ex that I'm moving. He's happy because now he can get high at home. And so Michael comes, he picks me up, and he's like, I want to take your stuff and we'll take it to the storage. But I'm off this weekend. Let's go. I want you to meet somebody. And I'm like, okay. He goes and he puts my stuff in storage. And he wants to take me to meet his mom. Now I'm like, I don't really want to meet his mom, but whatever. Okay. I'm going to play the game. So it takes me to go meet his mom, a couple hours away from where we were. Meet his mom. And we're staying with her for the weekend. Now, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, he was not my type. And I said I was going to treat him like a client, but I couldn't because it wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. I had changed from that, and it just felt yucky to even attempt to try to do this again. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. Okay, so the first night it was a no go. I just couldn't do it. The second night I got something to drink and I went on and got it over with. But it just was not it. It was just not it. I was so disgusted with myself and just the whole thing. And so I'm pissed about it because I don't, please don't touch me no more. So now he's trying to figure out why. I don't want to talk about why. I don't want to do it. So he got mad because he's like, we supposed to be moving in together. I got your stuff in my storage and you don't want to be intimate with me. So he got mad and left. Now, when he left, I didn't think he went back to where we came from, 2 hours away. But that's what he did. He left me in his mom's house. I don't know this woman. She don't know me. He done left me here. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm there for maybe a couple of weeks. And she just finally said, look, my son's stupid. You're here. I have an extra room. I can help you find a job. And you can just help me with the rent and we can, stay here together. And I'm like, I might as well. I'm already here. So that's when I found, well, it was actually one of her friends who had a daycare. And she was like, well, my friend needs a teacher for their daycare. And I'm like, now, mind you, it's always been something I've always wanted to do is be a teacher, but I never saw it happening because I felt like I needed to have more schooling under my belt and all the things. But I'm like, look, whatever. I need a job. So she took me for an interview and I got hired. And they was like, don't worry about your credentials. You can go to school while you're here, while you're at work. As long as you work here with us, we'll pay for your schooling and you can get, your certificate or whatever. So that's what I did. And I became a preschool teacher. And I was in love. I was like, oh, this is what I should have been doing all along. Now, how I got there was not ideal at all. At all. Because I could not believe that this man brought me to his mom's house and got mad enough to leave me. And then, of course, I lost all my stuff that he had in storage was all gone because I'm like, here we go. But there was a bad, terrible situation. It was a choice that I made, though. I made a bad choice from the beginning, and I just kept making more and more bad choices. But I kept praying. I guess he was like, I see she's trying, but she trying it the wrong way, and she still don't understand that all she has to do is lay it at my feet, and I will get her there. But I'm just praying still, like, please, I'm so serious about changing my life and this, that, and the other, and becoming a preschool teacher. It was like, it was the thing I needed. Like, it was the thing I've been missing that I didn't even know I was missing. It was perfect. Now, mind you, the living situation, again, not ideal, but it was what I needed. That's why when I say everything happens for a reason, even though I was making bad choices, I believe that the Most High could see that I was really serious about making a change in my life, but I just didn't know how to go about it because I've been making bad choices forever. Like, this is just what I do. Um, so I didn't know. So it's like, he's like, I believe she wants to make a change. I see her. She wants to make a change. She just doesn't know how to get there. So I'm going to give her a chance. And I started working as a preschool teacher. And from then on, like, my whole everything changed. Now, the staying with his mom did not go well. She turned out to be, let's just say that I could tell where her son got his attitude and everything from, because yeah, she and I, we didn't get along. I'm paying her rent and she's going shopping and she's not paying the rent. She gonna tell me I'm gonna move back, and I'm gonna leave you the apartment. Come to find out, she hadn't been paying no rent. She been taking my money and not paying the rent. She been going shopping with my money. And I talked to the landlord and I'm like, look, I didn't know any of the things. And the best part about that was the landlord, he didn't know me either. But he knew I wasn't lying because I had proof. I was like, look, I have been paying her all this money all this time. She's not been paying the rent. She's been going shopping. I didn't know that until after the fact. And so the landlord gave me grace and was like, I'm going to give you a chance. You're already in here, so just keep up with the rent. And so I tried. I did. But trying to get back and forth to work, I felt like I needed to find me an apartment closer to where I was working. So that's what I did. I got me an apartment closer to my job, and I was just in love with being a preschool teacher. It was something that I never thought I'd do, but it was something that I wanted to do. I'm not a preschool teacher, I just wanted to be a teacher. Um, so yeah, I was in love. And from that moment forward, it got me to where I am today. Like, being a preschool teacher, I found my calling. It was a job that I said, this is something I would do for free. I would literally, I would do this job for free. And that's what made me realize this has to be my calling. This has to be, and I was such a natural at it. Like, I had teachers that had been teachers for years. They was following what I was doing. They were watching what I was doing. And it just, at first, because I'm still learning how to be a different person, I was offended. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Why y'all keep watching me? Then I come find out they admired how I taught and how it was so easy for me to. It wasn't the fact that okay, I'm not going to even say that. I learned my children and I figured out what worked for them. And so I knew how to teach them because I knew their personality. I learned you have to learn your students in order to teach them. They can't learn from you if you don't know them. And so, yeah, I had teachers like, how do you do this? And what makes you do it this way? And can you come in my class and do this? And I was just like, this is weird. Okay. I'm like, this has to be my calling. This has to be it. And from then on, it caused me to want to better myself as a teacher and as a person. So that's how I figured out what my calling was, teaching. Have you figured out what your calling is? Do you know what your calling is? Are you even thinking about what your calling is? I mean, it could come um, the damnedest way because you saw how mine came. So, learning your calling, your purpose, it makes a difference. You see things differently, you feel differently, you realize that, huh, other ideas start coming. I realize that um, I am good at something, because I never had a good self esteem. I never had self esteem at all, let's just say. But becoming a preschool teacher, I started getting confident in me, my abilities. The students loved me, my bosses loved me. Other teachers, you know, would follow what I was doing. And it was wild. It was really wild. I felt important. I felt comfortable. Like I felt at home teaching. And it didn't even matter what class I had. And it was funny because, usually when you're the new teacher, they try to give you all the so-called bad students. And then when they come to my class, they aren't bad anymore. Now, of course, they're going to try me because that's what students do. They're going to try you. But I learned how to work with them so that we didn't have to bump heads. And they would be like, well, what did you do? Because when they were in my class, they do this, that, and the other. I started feeling like my confidence was boosting because I knew that this was something that the Most High gave me. Because, like I said, I figured you have to have a lot of college under your belt in order to be a teacher. Um, but when you're called to do something, He qualifies you. Absolutely. He absolutely qualifies you because when I say being a teacher was one of the most rewarding jobs I had ever had, then um, I felt comfortable. I felt at home. I felt like, how do I know this? Like, how am I able to do this? He gave it to me. He put it in me to be a teacher. And it was awesome. It was awesome. I felt amazing because I had been a waitress at one time. I sold Kirby vacuum cleaners at one time. I was I worked at the Civil Courts child support supervisor at one time. I've worked in factories. I've cleaned houses. I've done a lot of things over the years, and not any of the things that I've done had I ever felt the way I felt when I became a preschool teacher. Like I never felt comfortable. I never felt like I was in my zone. I never felt like I was where I was supposed to be. Teaching, you can't tell me nothing about teaching. Well, I take that back. I'm always open to learn things, but what I mean is the confidence I had, the abilities that was already in me. It was like, oh yeah, I'm a teacher. And I said it proudly. I am a teacher. Like, I just never thought that that was my thing until um, anyway, I'm not going to keep bringing up that man's name because meeting him and involving myself with him got me to where I needed to be. Got me exactly where I needed to be. So, what is your calling? Is what you're doing right now something you do for free? Is what you're doing right now where you feel at home and comfortable, like it's second nature? You could do it in your sleep. Or are you a robot to what you're doing? I'm just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. You just, the little hamster in the wheel. You're just going around and round and round. You never know what your purpose is. But once you find it, it's undeniable that it's what it is. So I beg of you, if you've not even thought about that, your purpose, please do. Please gear your whole world around figuring out what your purpose is. Pray about it. Read your word. That purpose, once you get to it, it opens all the doors you need. It opens all the doors you need. And it's easier for the Most High to work with you because now you're in your purpose, in something He's already called you to do. So now He can get you step by step to continue to moving forward to what He wants you to bring forth in this world. Yeah. So, yeah, this one is longer than I expected. I apologize. I don't never really like to have the videos too long, but it is what it is. So, as always, enjoy the rest of your night. Rest well. Pray. Read your word. Follow His will. Lay your burdens down and let Him show you what He's put inside of you. It's time. It's time to bring it out. It's time to become who He's called you to be. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my healing series and or healing books rather on my Amazon store. I have curriculum K through 12th grade, and it's all in my on my page here on YouTube. Thank you for watching. I pray that this helps someone. Just know, finding your purpose will open the doors to the Most High. It really will. You'll see things differently. You'll feel differently. It changes how you do things and how you want to do things. It's everything. So come on back. Keep enjoying the videos. Keep watching the videos. Find out your purpose. It's imperative that you do. Well, I shall see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom, family. I love you.